Recently, we moved into cannabis delivery, and we just got our distribution license 2 months ago. And so with that, I'm the only person in the group that doesn't smoke. Like I look at it strictly from a numbers standpoint.
It's a business opportunity.
You know, I say, hey, let's do it. You know, everyone else smokes and then they like do their thing. And I just sit there in the meetings like, hey guys.
So hold time out on the cannabis thing here, because it's become, you know, in California, it's become a bit easier to do business in that arena over the last, let's say 5-6 years.
Yeah.
I know in San Jose particularly, and I'm not that familiar, so I don't mean to talk out of turn here, but my understanding is obviously there's some ordinances, there's some taxes that you've got to pay, there's some, you know, things that you have to be aware of, and they've kind of crammed everybody into kind of one little area. Used to kind of see these co-ops sort of all over the place, and now they're within like a few blocks of one another. It's literally you walk out the door, look across the street, and there's 5 more
right over
there. However, there's a massive population here, and there's probably within that population, I have no idea what that is. Maybe you know. I mean, what percentage? I mean, San Jose is a huge city. What percentage of our city is in the cannabis or is using or purchasing? Or
it's super tough to tell.
Yeah, because it's kind of undercover, right?
It's undercover, low key. Like until you walk in, they take your ID. But I would probably say conservatively 25%.
Wow.
Of the San Jose Bay Area. So, right.
Do you know, you might know the answer to this. Do you know what the population here is in San Jose?
I wrote it down this morning. I don't know right now.
We're going to have Mikey look it up, because we talking about 25%. This is a lot of people.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of people.
Yeah, it is.
Are there restrictions while he's doing this? Are there restrictions on what you can and what you can't deliver?
So it's based on you can't deliver more than an ounce to somebody per day.
It's more about the amount, not the product. Because I mean, there's all kinds of stuff, right?
Anything that you can buy in a dispensary, whether it's shatter, all this other stuff, you can sell all of it, right? It's just time of day. You can't deliver anything after 10 p.m. And it's the amount of product, unless it's medicinal.
Okay, so it's really there's actually very few restrictions. I mean, well, that could be restrictive,
right?
When somebody's sitting there.
The crazy part is like the crazy part is doing advertisement. That's where things get real crazy. So like you can't advertise within like 2 miles of a school. You can't show flower on social media because it's still federal. Right? Billboard ads are a little bit different. Like you see HempCon and stuff come up, so it's like leadway. Like people are trying to finesse it all day, but social media, it's like, good luck. You have to really finagle it.
Mikey, what's the population here, dude?
1.02 million.
Yeah,
as of 2019.
Yeah,
that's 1 million people, man. So
it's about 250,000.
That's a lot. That's a big market.
It's a lot. So
let's go back to the advertising thing. When you say like advertise within, again, like 200 feet of a school or whatever else, I mean, go back to the print ads and things like that. I mean, are people really using that stuff, or what are the restrictions? Are there restrictions digitally in that sense?
So digitally, it's totally like a black hat strategy.
Got it.
Right. Like if it works, great. You can get shut down
because you'll get shadow banned or switched off.
Exactly.
Has that increased in this last year?
Dude, like text message marketing has been insane. Like Verizon, like all these guys, they've shut down companies to the fact that, like, I know a group that does text message marketing and they have to change their phone number that they send out, like every other message that they send to somebody.
Now, is this 18? So let's just say it's AT&T, Verizon. You said, so is this Verizon doing that, or is this the state?
Cellular?
And is this because the state's putting pressure on them?
Well, it's because it comes across as like spammy. It comes across as all this other stuff, and then
so you're falling into that bucket of people are shutting down the text message marketing. It's not necessarily,
but it's also because cannabis isn't federally legal, right? And a lot of these companies have a nationwide presence.
Got it.
So then they have to
got to cover
their compliance, right? So if you put anything that a mass text that says, "Hey, come buy some weed," you will get shut down very, very quickly.
Got it. All right. So 250,000 people, how many cannabis dispensaries are there here?
That's a good question. I'm not in the dispensary game, but I would say in San Jose, Actually, can we just look that up?
Yeah,
I don't want to be wrong.
Yeah, that's a good one. So while he's doing that, so you're going through. So let's go back to the delivery business piece. Yeah. So is this like Uber for cannabis?
Yeah. So a lot of people have heard of Weed Maps or Leafly. What happens is that
I may or may not have heard of that.
May or may not. You know, there might be a billboard or bus ad somewhere, but pretty much when you want to get something delivered to your house, you search for a product and then you search for companies that are delivering it. You pick one and then that person sends a driver to your location.
So why haven't these dispensaries figured that part out yet?
So it's a different license. So there's a different license for everything. So there's a delivery license, there's distribution license, there's like dispensary with like storefront, retail license. And then there's cultivation and then there's manufacturing. And a lot of people only got one license, right? And some people are vertically integrated. Like Purple Lotus, for example, they have their delivery license, their cultivation license, and their storefront license. But I don't think they have a distribution license. So they can't make their own products and then sell it to somebody.
Interesting.
On their own, without using a distributor.
They have to go through somebody, right?
Just like the whole liquor game.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Again, and so is that, I would imagine that's even, of all the places, California's probably regulating that a little tighter than a lot of others, or no? I mean, maybe not in this game, because
100% yes. So
I mean, because they want their money.
Well, so the tax are 30% on the products that you do through licensed cannabis, 30% tax, just like off the rip, right? So everything that you buy or that someone buys is 30% more, 30% plus your local tax. So 30% plus 9.25% higher than if you bought it black market. But you get the convenience of not having to do it in the bag. Like,
I got it. But it's still like, what a huge miss. Like, what a huge miss by the state from a tax perspective. If you don't charge that much and you make it a little bit easier for somebody to do business, how many more tax dollars could you collect?
100%. It's you can make so much more because more people are going to be like, all right, I can make more money. I can do better. I can do more.
You're just driving illegal drug sales.
Literally. And so I think San Francisco is fighting to waive that tax.
Smart.
For their city.
It's smart.
Right? Because what happens is that tax is waived, it kills the black market.
Yeah.
Much. It's over. But the state wants to get their money. Right?
Did we figure that out?
Yeah. According to potguide.com,
sweet.
There's 16 dispensaries in San Jose.
Does that sound right? Yeah. 16 dispensaries?
Honestly, in my head, I had 12.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So
you were close, and they're mostly off they're like, you know how they're all grouped together. Yeah, they're all grouped together. They're mostly off like Monterey.
Yeah, it's because it's the way they got them zoned.
Yep. Every dispensary has to be in a green zone. Every transportation has to be in a green zone. And distribution has to be in a green zone. That's what they're called.
Look, I am definitely about kind of organizing it, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you have to know what's going on. And I would imagine as a business owner, not every dispensary, right? And I'm just thinking as a business owner, just like in my business, gyms or personal training businesses or whatever else, not every business owner runs a really tight ship. Right. Not every business owner is really professional. Not every business owner cares about their customers or the people that are coming in, period, or hanging out and around. And so, but at the same time, like outside of having like an area of the city or a particular place be zoned as retail or commercial, like this building is, it could be the Wild West out there. So, maybe this is a good thing. I don't know, because where there's, let's be honest, typically where there's drugs, there's issues. But what is the reality of that given how they're regulating it now? I mean, because to me, I never hear about issues. Like, it seems like they are running a tight ship. And I have to be honest, so here's my experience. I've been into a couple of these dispensaries here in town. And when I walk in the door, I'm like, holy shit, this place is fantastic, right? The people, amazing, right? The customer service, top shelf. It's like walking into a 5-star hotel, right? The environment is amazing. And the product display, marketing, all that stuff is fantastic. And I've never felt uncomfortable walking in or being around them. However, they did cram them in a really shitty part of town. Mm-hmm. So all that considered, I guess what I'm saying is they're regulating it pretty tightly, but it seems like this could be such a benefit, particularly with what we know about cannabis just in general. So sorry, I didn't want to get too far off track there. Just trying to do some math here. 250,000 people, 16 dispensaries, dude, they're cleaning up.
Oh, dude, like they're
cleaning up.
You'd be very surprised. Like I'll do the math right now for you. I'm going to tell you one guy that I know for sure, just on his delivery alone, he makes about $500,000 a month, $450,000 a month, just on delivery alone, with an average ticket of $100. So you can do the math.
So let's talk about this. So again, now I'm wondering when I hear that, like, if I'm a dispensary, I'm getting that license to deliver. Like, I'm figuring that shit out, because if that's the cheese that I could be making, just getting this from my spot to the customer.
Yeah, but think about the other part of this, right? You have overhead for your space, right? Because when you're in cannabis, every commercial owner charges you way more than like the normal rate.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, 300 square foot. Hey, you know what? Cannabis, $5.
Especially when they put it in this area. I know my real estate's worth some money, because if you don't take it, somebody
else will, and they'll take out a premium.
Yeah.
Right. And with dispensaries, you have to hold a lot of inventory, right? Like you have to hold an ungodly amount of inventory. Like I know people that hold $1 million worth of inventory a month, and they have to sell through it. Right. And like, we look at these numbers like, cool, I'm making $500,000 a month, but you have to look at the drivers, the overhead, the product, anything that may happen if someone steals something, liability, or product disappears, like insurance, like you're probably coming out of that with a pretty decent chunk of cash, like at least $100,000 a month, potentially net or more, depending on how tight you run your ship. But it's just like, dude, like you see these big numbers and people want to get into the game, right? But even getting a license is tough, right? And it's a long process. And I talked to some guys yesterday, they said, dude, the black market is going to die soon, right? At some point in time. So all the dudes who have made all their money in the black market, they're trying to go legal because they have all this cash. And cannabis is still a cash business.
Sure.
Like all my vendors ask to get paid in cash, right? Mm-hmm. And you're just
I haven't been to a dispensary where you can use a credit card.
And everything is cash.
You're not doing Apple Pay.
Exactly. Right. You're just like, all right, everything is still cash. So it's like, it's still that type of business. So let's go to your business, the delivery business. Yeah.
Right. So how long have you been doing this?
3 months.
Okay. How many drivers do you have?
As of right now, I have one workhorse. Well, technically we have 3 drivers. So we have 3 drivers, but I have one guy who's a fucking workhorse.
He's just working all day long. He's just grinding. He likes his money.
He likes his money.
Yeah.
And he's good.
Yeah, good. So, all right. So what kind of volume are we talking? Like how many deliveries?
Yeah, like a day
or a week or month or whatever.
So it's averaged by the day. So we started 3 months ago. As of right now, we're at about, I'd say 10 deliveries a day. Right. So we're at about 10 deliveries a day. And I would like to say that's pretty good. Eventually, like guys like Purple Lotus, like 100 to 150 deliveries a day, like on average. Right. I would like to be at that cool, like I would like to be at 100 deliveries a day. Why am I going to sell myself short? 100 deliveries a day. That would be great. Cause I would be making, that much money a month, but it's just kind of like, it just takes time to get there.
Sure.
Right?
You got to ramp it up.
You have to ramp it up, but you're competing with the 100 delivery a day guys who have an ungodly amount of money they've been making for an ungodly amount of time. And they can, as soon as you come on the radar, they can be like, hey bro, fuck you. Like, I'm gonna run the crazy special, and now you can't compete.
And so and I imagine like if I like my delivery driver, I'm trying to get my same driver, right? Like if you call this other business, right, and you have it delivered, do you get a choice?
No. So it's for the safety of the driver.
Okay. So what about for yours?
It's for the safety of the driver.
So same.
Everything is like
random.
So my biggest priority, it's like my driver's safe, because like you think about it, I don't know how, some people, I don't run my delivery this way, but other people do. Like they put a shit ton of product in that car and then they move it around like a fucking ice cream truck. Okay. And then they drive around like, hey, I got everything for you. There's a lot of risk. Like you carry $5,000 worth of product in your car. Like people know where your driver's going. Like, come on, dude, like you're gonna lose your money.
It's opportunity.
And potentially your driver. Right. Yep. So, like there's always compliance behind everything works. Like all your product has to go back to your secure location, wherever that is.
Right.
And like you always have to leave from there unless you have a delivery already in that area.